Opry is a living, breathing entity. It's people who love country music.
If anybody says they don't feel it when they walk in here, they're completely lying.
You just feel a spirit in here.
And to get to step on that stage in that circle, you feel the history coming up through your boots.
Just think of all the people that have been on the stage. It's a real humbling experience.
I always wanted to perform on the Grand Ole Opry.
I believed it. Now all that's left is to do it.
I'm Adam Hambrick.
Hey, this is Parker McCollum, and this is my Opry debut.
I'm Adam Hambrick, and this is my Opry debut. My first recollections of the Grand Ole Opry were just hearing about it, just hearing it talked about. My grandpa was an old school fan. He was there in front of his radio every Saturday night, listening to whatever was coming on the radio through the Grand Ole Opry. And he loved bluegrass music, had a deep love for bluegrass music. And when he would talk about it in terms of the Grand Ole Opry. I heard so-and-so on the Grand Ole Opry. And he went to the Grand Ole Opry once when it was at the Ryman, and like, that's the only time he ever got to go, but he talked about it, you know. And I love the hand-in-hand with the history of the Opry and gospel music, bluegrass music. I just think that's awesome, because that's where I come from, you know.
Now, have your mom on the phone. Hey, Mom, would you like to tell Adam why he really came in?
I would love to.
Go ahead.
We just wanted you to know that we are coming to Nashville on the 11th because you are going to play at the Grand Ole Opry.
On Saturday, May 11th.
Saturday, May the 11th.
You'll be making your Grand Ole Opry debut. Adam is he's tearing up right now, and rightfully he's here.
And I just broke down. I just broke down on air because we were coming back from Vegas from the ACMs, and we flew into St. Louis, and then I decided I was just gonna drive back to Nashville because I had to be back for a slot on the Bobby Bones show. And I was about halfway between Springfield and Nashville, and I got a call from my mom, let me know that my granddad had passed away, my papaw. Just kind of thought about him and prayed a little bit, and then I got to Nashville, and I thought I was coming in to talk about a show that we were doing, but I was not.
Man. But we are excited.
I'm so excited. That does not damper any excitement. Oh man.
Oh, and he would be so proud of you.
I've never in my entire life been so excited and so just sad in the same breath.
He may not be like physically in a seat, but you know he's gonna be there.
Yeah, he is. Like people like me from Corinth, Mississippi, or Des Arc, Arkansas, or Conway, Arkansas, like those people don't get to do stuff like this, you know? And so it always felt so foreign. It always felt like that's for somebody else. That's another world, you know? But it feels right, you know?
Falling high, singing songs to it in the dark, drinking up every moment till it's gone. We're gonna hear the break of dawn, just rocking all night long, just rocking all night long.
That was great. Hey everybody, Bobby Bones here, host of Opry Live. Circle Network is excited to start texting with you. We'll send some fun, personalized messages just for you. And sometimes, someone special may be sending them. Maybe some of my friends, maybe even me.
If I could ask any country artist a question, any artist alive or dead, I would ask Chris Christopherson, where was the bar when he wrote To Beat the Devil? What bar was that?
I'm going with Johnny Cash because he lived, at least according to Walk the Line movie, he lived and the legend of his house that's burnt down on Cumberland River there outside of Nashville, Old Hickory Lake area. I would want to know I would ask him, tell me top five of your craziest events on the water in the city, because I spent a lot of time on that lake and I just want to make sure I'm doing it right.
I would love to ask Ray Charles what it was like being Ray Charles, just because he was amazing. You know, he loved country music, and he was a country artist, he was a jazz artist, he was an R&B artist, and like, he just been one of my favorite artists to look at and be like, what was it like, man? Just getting out and just not, you couldn't see the audience, you couldn't see, but he'd be like, you can feel it. So, I don't know, good question.
Let's go, baby! Welcome to Circle's Country Countdown, where we make the lists, our panelists fill in the blanks, and you fire social media messages at us to let us know what you think.
So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Then you're gonna love this. Power couples check. Hairdos, yes please.
He's got better hair than I do.
Outlaws, 10-4.
He's dangerous.
Get ready for the rowdiest show in primetime.
I want to know all about you. Tell me.
You've lived for those days as a songwriter when it just comes together.
My brother Tracy Lawrence is in the house.
We needed a song to get back on radio, and Bye-Bye was it.
All the great music, all the great writers. It's just a great town in general, you know.
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
I'm Natalie Stovall, and this is the Southern Weekend. I do not understand what I'm doing.
I would really like to try the chicken and waffles.
Oh, you guys are cute. It takes a lot of hard work to get to this point.
Yeah. It takes one person that believes to help you.
Got it!
Hey, it's Sarah Evans. Join me in helping Feeding America. Well, Feeding America is so important because obviously we've had such a tough year with the pandemic, and then we've had like crazy weather issues, and a lot of people have lost their jobs, they have no income, and the simple task of feeding their families has become really, really difficult for a lot of people who are not able to work right now. So it's very important, and it's, you know, kind of a really, really great way that we can help these families. Go to feedingamerica.org/circle.
Every night at the Grand Ole Opry is an exciting night, but whenever an artist is making their debut in the Grand Ole Opry, it is extra special, and that's what's happening for us here tonight. Would you welcome Adam Hambrick, everybody?
Before I get started, I have to make a dedication. One, my grandfather passed away a month before he was going to get to see his grandson play the Grand Ole Opry. But he knew about it, and he was coming, and I got to think he's here with us tonight one way or another. And so I want to dedicate tonight to him.
There were Chevys, levies, whiskey and rye, friends and no end to the summertime. Gas was cheap and the radio was free, so we on those back streets just chasing good times and pretty girls. Cause when you're young, your whole world is bloodshot eyes. Watch the sunrise, sleep when you die, face and laugh into full heart, falling hard, singing songs to her in the dark, and drinking out every morning till it's gone. Yeah, we're gonna be here to the break of dawn, just rocking all night long, just
it was exactly what I wanted it to be. Like I felt it the way I wanted to feel it. I was able to put into the performance what I wanted to put into it, and it just felt right.
Just rocking all night. Just out here with all my friends at the Grand Ole Opry for the very first time, and it's still unbelievable to me. Just rocking all night long. Thank y'all so much.
That's Adam Hambrick, everybody. Remember that name.
This is nothing new. What we're doing here is just reviving an old style of agriculture.
Pretty crappy gift, huh?
Not really. My father gave us a bucket of bait.
Now you talk about funny. Funny is funny, but this is funny.
I'm out to prove there are still real cowboys left in this country.
Let's go, baby! Welcome to Circle's Country Countdown, where we make the lists, our panelists fill in the blanks, and you fire social media messages at us to let us know what you think.
So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Then you're gonna love this. Power couples check. Hairdos, yes please.
He's got better hair than I do.
Outlaws, 10-4.
He's dangerous.
Get ready for the rowdiest show in primetime.
This little circle of wood right here this is where everyone from Hank Williams to Johnny Cash, they stood here.
On Saturday nights, it's more than just music. It's community. It's on the Circle Network with Opry Live.
Well, the first time I stepped on the circle, you know, trying not to break down in tears.
The spirit of the Opry takes you to another world.
How about it? How about it? Oh, yeah.
Every week, be a part of history.
Conway, up in heaven, if you're watching, help me.
Opry Live, where legends circle back and up-and-comers step in.
Would you welcome Luke Combs, the newspaper for the Grand Ole Opry.
The Circle is powerful, brings us together, and moves us.
That is what we call an Opry moment.
Every Saturday night, country's most famous stage is live and in your home.
Country plays here.
Hey, this is Parker McCollum, and this is my Opry debut. You just kind of get nervous when you walk into Ryman a little bit. You know, when you walk in, anybody that you look up to and what you want to do in life has come to and played their songs and kind of spoke their truth. Right here, this is where they came to do it. So it's kind of like the church of country music. When I was really young, we spent a lot of time with my granddad, and you know, he was always playing Porter Wagoner and Buck Owens. He had cassette tapes in an old Dodge pickup, and we'd just ride around the ranch and listen to like Carroll County Accident by Porter Wagoner. I mean, and he was a phenomenal cheerleader, you know, of his grandkids and of me, for sure, I know. I mean, he always wanted to know what you were working on musically, and he really encouraged that, and a phenomenal human, great person to have to look up to, you know. And so when you're chasing dreams and you have someone like that in their life that reached so many of their goals, you have no excuse to fail. So I grew up in a town called Conroe, just north of Houston, and moved to Austin right after I graduated high school. And my older brother, Tyler, phenomenal songwriter, kind of is really the only reason that I think I took to songwriting at such a young age and really kind of fell in love with it was by Tyler, for sure. When I was young and like in writing classes and stuff in school, I always had an ability to, when we were writing stories, I remember in like grade school and stuff, I was like a lot of imagery and stuff. And so when I kind of fell in love with melodies, you know, I think it's just happened so naturally. And of course, my dad and mom are listening to George Strait, you know, all the time. That was like, in my family and George's, you know, there is no higher than him.
First time I heard Parker perform, I was at a show, and he was opening the show.
And we were in Corpus Christi, Texas. I think we were first of 4 on the bill, playing at, you know, 3:30 in the afternoon when nobody's there. And he sat and watched our whole set.
Obviously, he commands that stage when he's up there. That's obviously the first thing you see when you go to the Parker McCollum shows. You see him up there, and you know that he's comfortable in his own skin. I think that's a quality that's you know, actually rare.
Towards the end of the night, once he got off stage, he comes walking down the ramp, and there was 6,000, 7,000 people there, sold out, just played a huge show, and he just looked at me, he's like, let's go to the bus. And so I don't even think, that may be my first time ever on a tour bus. And he was like, man, I've been watching you, I've kind of been following you for a little while, and you know, I think you got what it takes, and I just love to help you maybe avoid some of the mistakes I've made and try to get to where you're trying to go.
He wants to do it his way. He wants to put out his music. He's not chasing some sort of hit. He's not chasing some song about a dirt road or a back road or a beer can or a tailgate. People can see that. People know that it's authentic, and that Parker doesn't have to mess with any of that because he is who he is.
So he was the first person that was ever like, you can be a star doing this if you want to do it. He's like, I believe in you 100%, which was huge for me to have somebody, you know, kind of instill that confidence in you a little bit. I mean, I call him Dad for a reason. I'm forever indebted to Randy Rogers. Lloyd Maines, phenomenal producer. Natalie Maine's dad, obviously, from the Chicks. Phenomenal pedal steel player, mandolin, I mean, guitar player, absolute legend. I'd put out a record on my own before Randy, which I think is what kind of got his attention. It was called The Limestone Kid, and one of my very dear friends, Corby Schaub, produced that album, and so that kind of got the wheels turning with Randy. And then after he'd been managing me a couple months, and he's like, man, you need to put out another record. What do you think about getting Lloyd Maines to produce it? And so I think he just called him up, and we met up, and I played some songs. A song I have called Hell of a Year and I Can't Breathe. It really, thinking back now, how much I thought I knew then, and then 3 or 4 years later being like, man, I didn't know anything at all. Lloyd just kind of brought those songs to life. So, love Lloyd Maines, man.
I recognize that backstage anywhere. That is so cool. You're playing 3 shows at Billy Bob's.
We got a chance to actually invite Parker McCollum to perform at the Opry for the first time via FaceTime, Zoom, what we're all doing these days.
We were playing Billy Bob's, world's largest honky-tonk in Fort Worth, Texas, some socially distanced shows right before Christmas.
He was doing 3 sold-out shows there. And I called his mom's phone, and she put on FaceTime and then put him on there.
So I was just getting ready for the show, walked into the green room. My mom was kind of looking at me weird, and I really didn't know that this was going to happen. And I walk over on the phone, and I see Dirks is on there. I'm like, Dirks, what are you doing? Like, I'm thinking my mom has my phone or something.
I would be honored if you come out and play, make your Grand Ole Opry debut. I will be there cheering you on, so.
Holy for real?
You can't say holy now I just said holy
Damn, for real? You being serious?
Yeah, February 6th, man, the Opry asked me to ask you to come play your Opry debut, man.
When I asked Parker if he wanted to come out to the Opry and make his debut, I mean, he was ecstatic. My
mom was really, I think she's like, is this real right now that you're gonna play the Grand Ole Opry? So the coolest part about playing the Grand Ole Opry is watching, like my dad's face when he tells somebody when I was home, his face just lights up. I enjoy it very much to see how proud they are to tell somebody I'm playing the Grand Ole Opry, so I love it.
Hey everybody, Bobby Bones here, host of Opry Live. Circle Network is excited to start texting with you. We'll send some fun, personalized messages just for you, and sometimes someone special may be sending them. Maybe some of my friends, maybe even me.
I want to know all about you. Tell me.
You've lived for those days as a songwriter when it just comes together.
My brother Tracy Lawrence is in the house.
We needed a song to get back on radio, and Bye-Bye was it.
All the great music, all the great writers. It's just a great town in general, you know?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
I'm Natalie Stovall, and this is the Southern Weekend. I do not understand what I'm doing.
I would really like to try the chicken and waffles.
Oh, you guys are cute.
It takes a lot of hard work to get to this point.
Yeah. It takes one person that believes to help you.
Got it.
Yeah!
Hey, I'm Blake Shelton. Join me for Spring Blake, my Circle Network takeover.
Kick off spring break with Blake Shelton and Natalie Stovall. The party starts by hitting the hot spots on the Southern Weekend, followed by a marathon of shows with Blake and his friends, playing music and having a great time.
Celebrate Spring Blake all month long at ored.com or follow ORED on socials. Join me in the circle. country plays here.
Hey folks, it's John Rich, and I want you to join me in helping Feeding America. Feeding America is such an important thing in our country. I say this all the time, if you can't eat, you can't do anything. If you don't have baseline food and water, how are you expected to ever do anything in this country? The land of opportunity, the right to pursue happiness, the American dream, none of those things can happen if you can't eat. And so, growing up in Texas, there were a handful of years in there where it got pretty lean. I remember a couple of trips to the food bank, here and there. Didn't last long, but it is a real necessity for a lot of Americans, even if it's for just a short period of time, to get through some of those lean moments. People need to be able to get their hands on basic sustenance in this country. Feeding America is doing that. Go to feedingamerica.org/circle.
Hi, Parker. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm really good. How are you?
Doing well. Welcome to the Opry.
Thank you, sir.
Now, you'll be in dressing room number 4 tonight. Dressing room number 4 is the very first one on the left-hand side.
I think you grow up listening to country music and you dream about playing country music. And so to think about playing the Grand Ole Opry for so long, and then, all of a sudden today is the day that we play the Grand Ole Opry. Yeah, it's an incredible feeling. You feel different when you come in here, Y'all feel different? I truly never get nervous. Every now and then, big crowds, doesn't matter, don't get nervous. But I'm already a little nervous right now, but I'll be nervous tonight for sure.
Finally getting to watch my brother Parker McCollum do his debut. I don't know, I'll try not to get teary-eyed because I got a lot of pride in me right now, y'all.
If you play the Opry, it means you're doing something right. Things are going well in your career if you get invited to play the Opry.
It's a dream come true. I'm sure he's nervous, but one thing about Parker is, when the lights come on and it's time to go, it's time to work, he's one of the best at it. And I've been watching him his whole life, and I've always said that. I mean, when it's time to work, I don't know many people that can do it better than him.
Can you step in it yet? Not yet. The circle is sacred because, simply think about how many people, especially not just people you looked up to, but just icons in country music, stand right there and speak their truth and sing their songs. This is where I saw a quote on the wall in the dressing room just now that said, doesn't matter what awards you've won, you hadn't really made it until you played the Opry. So that makes tonight a very good night.
For Parker to have his Opry debut, it's a dream come true for him. I know that on just a personal level. It's gonna be a big night for him. I'm proud of him.
I'm not sure if just in country music alone, if there's anything I've done that's cooler than what we'll do tonight. It really holds such a higher significance. It is the mecca of country music, for them to, and especially just to welcome me kind of like they have today. It's a phenomenal feeling to be here and play tonight. I was nervous just for that. We may be in trouble, y'all. No, it's gonna be great. Thank y'all very much. It sounds fantastic. Damn. That is why the circle is sacred. That picture right there, that's crazy. When I walk down the halls and I see pictures of Porter and pictures of Willie, and it's almost like backstage, I feel like I have to be quiet. You feel different when you walk in the building. Your brain, your body kind of understand that, this is not a honky tonk. It's a Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, wow. What's up, man?
How are you, my man?
So psyched for you, dude. What's it feel like? You feeling pretty pumped?
Yeah, nervous for sure.
Yeah.
I was nervous just sound checking with them, so.
Yeah, I'm also still nervous after all these years of doing this.
I was, during sound check, I was like, whew.
Yeah, I actually put I was like, I saw it a million times, like, I was psyching myself out. Do I know the words?
Yeah.
I don't know if I know.
So you go, so Rhonda goes and then I go and then you go, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you, man. Seriously, and thanks for coming in for it.
Yeah.
That is big time.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm really happy for you. I'm psyched to be here.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate it.
I feel like Parker has a really great understanding of just Texas's role in the Opry. You know, all these great Texas artists that have come through Nashville and play the Opry. You know, Ernest Tubb and George Jones, and I think he feels like he feels the weight of that heritage of being a Texas artist. So I think he respects that heritage and feels the weight of that, the significance of being invited to come perform here.
You just had it reached a huge milestone that you may or may not even be aware of, but your debut single, Pretty Heart, went platinum, baby. Went platinum. Look at that.
Oh my sweet goodness.
Let's get a photo.
So hop in.
Wow, thank you very much for
hopping here.
From Limestone Kid until, you know, debuting at the Grand Ole Opry, obviously tons has changed. He went from playing for a few people to playing for a whole lot of people.
You know, we fell in love with songwriting at a young age, and then he got old enough to play and kind of taught him to play and sing, and we were all just kind of in the same mix of trying to understand what a songwriter was and trying to understand what it took to actually tell stories like Townes Van Zandt or Guy Clark could tell stories. You know, 13 or 14, he had come into his voice, and I was like, I knew he was one of the most talented people I'd ever seen when he was 13 or 14 years old. You know, I was like, if he takes that work ethic he has and goes for it, I think he can. I don't think he has a limit.
His brother Tyler is a great songwriter and someone that Parker looked up to from the beginning because he was doing it before Parker. And so I think that brotherly bond is something that's unique for Parker and music and for Tyler, absolutely.
He's such a grateful, you know, human being. He's very thankful for everything. So nowadays when he gets on that stage, and I'm gonna try and hold some tears back, but
Parker, congratulations on your Opry debut performance tonight. Y'all are gonna love him. Make some noise for Parker McCollum, everybody.
Dierks Bentley introducing me at the Opry. I think it will help because I'll feel maybe a little more at ease and a little more comfortable with him here. Today is kind of a pinch me day.
I didn't think I was a bad guy. I knew that you were good. You were golden on the inside, and you loved me the best you could. I'm the one that dropped the ball, got you high and let you fall. Let the best thing I ever had slip away.
Well, to sing Pretty Heart and to be singing my song, a song that I wrote with my buddy Randy Montana at the Grand Ole Opry. It was our single last year, so I feel pretty good about it. I'm excited.
I mean, I think that's just always been the goal, is to be singing songs you wrote. And so to get to stand on the Opry stage and sing a song that he penned on his own is, you know, I think a lot of artists' dream, if not every artist's dream, you know. I mean, is there anything better? Like, literally, is there anything better?
Parker's a great songwriter, just great songs, emotional songs from the heart. Just a smooth voice, just a great singer. I mean, guy just has a really silky smooth voice.
The highlight of playing on that stage tonight, being out there, was seeing my mom and dad's and stepmom's faces out there, 100%. They were just beaming the whole, it was crazy. I don't know, my heart was, when I was standing out there before we started, I could hear my heart beating. Oh, that was crazy.
His very first time on the Grand Ole Opry stage.
Thank you so much, Nashville.
Make some noise for Parker McCollum.
Cheers. Congrats.
Thank you guys.
First Opry appearance, first of many, my man.
Thank you.
Woo!
Double
Yo.
cheers.
You ready to get going tonight? Well, I ain't watching TV today. Bad news, it can just stay away. If you ain't got anything good to say, then shut your mouth. Oh yeah, got my windows down and my blinders on. Radio set to my favorite song. All green lights on the road I'm on, and there ain't no doubt I'm getting them good vibes. I'm living this good life. I'm breathing on God's time, and I ain't gonna waste one breath. I'm soaking it all up. I got me a full cup. Ain't nothing gonna spill it, nothing gonna kill it. Waving them words goodbye. I'm feeling them good vibes. If you're feeling the good vibes, make some noise. I ain't trying to hear the negative, no. Just trying to change the narrative. 'Cause it is simply imperative that we all have a damn good time. I'm getting them good vibes. I'm living this good life. I'm breathing on God's time, and I ain't gonna waste one breath. I'm soaking it all up. I got me a full cup. Ain't nothing gonna spill it, nothing gonna kill it. Waving them words goodbye. I'm feeling them good vibes. Oh yeah, oh, I'm breathing on God's time. Now listen to me here. I got a good girl, she got a good smile. I kiss a good morning, I kiss a good night. We keep it on the up, that's how we get down. So don't be coming around unless you got them good vibes. I'm living this good life. I'm breathing on God's time. Amen. And I ain't gonna waste one breath. Soaking it all up. I got me a full cup. Ain't nothing gonna spill it, nothing gonna kill it. Waving them words goodbye. I'm feeling these good vibes. Oh yeah, oh, I'm feeling them good vibes. Good vibes. Let's go now, baby.
Starting us off with the bang, that is Chris Janson right there. Well, it's a big night, friends. Welcome, I'm Bobby Bones. Tonight's show is dedicated to helping those Americans who face hunger and food shortages. Now, to do this, Opry, Circle Network, and Gray Television have partnered with the best, which is Feeding America. Feeding America is the nation's largest hunger relief organization. They have a network of food banks in every county in all 50 states, like No Kid Hungry, a national organization to end childhood hunger. Like one dear to my heart, the Food Bank of Central Texas. And here in Nashville, they work with The Store, a free year-round grocery store founded by Brad and Kimberly Williams Paisley. That's just 3 examples, but Feeding America works with hundreds of food banks all across America, and that's important because Feeding America estimates nearly 50 million people could face hunger due to the economic fallout from COVID-19, and most recently, the devastating winter weather. Think about that, 50 million people. More people are showing up to food banks than ever before, so your help, my help, it is needed more than ever before. No amount is too small. Just $1 can help provide 10 meals to those in need. So let's help our neighbors. Let's help our friends. Together we can do this. For more info and to donate, right there, go to feedingamerica.org/circle. feedingamerica.org/circle. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay, back to the stage for a great musician and a good friend of mine. Once again, here is Chris Janson.
Oh, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Mike Terry. And ladies and gentlemen, Feeding America, what a great blessing and an honor, right, to be a part of that, to help your fellow man, help your fellow woman, just to help a human being. It's a big deal. It's why we're put on this earth. We are blessed. If you're in this house tonight, if you're watching tonight from afar, you are blessed to be alive today. Amen. We are blessed to be alive. And I'll tell you, I'm just proud to be involved, just in a little bit. So thank you very much for that, and thanks for bringing the good vibes tonight. This next song I'm going to play you, if you're a 9-to-5er out there in this world and you're here tonight at the Grand Ole Opry, I wrote this song for you. This one's called Waiting on 5 to Get Started on 6. Here we go. like watching your team while you sit on a bench, waiting on 5 to start on 6. Out in the sun or in the AC, 2 hours left when the hands hit 3. If you want some overtime, well, sorry, I'm sick. I'm waiting on 5 to start on 6. Everybody watching that tick-tock tick. The slower it goes, the closer it gets. We'll be cracking it, popping it, and giving it a twist. Waiting on 5 to start on 6. Hey, hey, all right. Yeah, we're gonna have a little party tonight. Hey, hey, all right. Sipping and kissing somebody tonight. Now when Sunday night comes, I get depressed. Monday morning blues and my head is a mess. But when Friday rolls around, I get that itch. Waiting on 5 to start on 6. Everybody watching that tick-tock tick. The slower it goes, the closer it gets. We'll be cracking it, popping it, and giving it a twist. Now play some guitar, baby, just like this goes. Y'all give it up for Tommy White on that steel guitar tonight. I'd rather dig in a cooler, man, than dig in a ditch. If it's 95 degrees, I've already quit. I go all day and then I'm ready to split. Waiting on 5 to start on 6. Everybody watching that tick-tock tick. The slower it goes, the closer it gets. We'll be cracking it, popping it, and giving it a twister. Waiting on 5 to start on 6. So waiting on 5, waiting on 5, waiting on 5 till it's time to quit. If you're having a good time in the Grand Ole Opry tonight, somebody make some noise. Thank you guys very much. It's good to see you tonight.
Tonight's Opry performance is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Let's get back to nature.
Chris Janson, everybody. Hey, y'all, it's Natalie Stovall back here at the Grand Ole Opry, hanging out with all of my streamers that are joining us from around the world while TV and radio are doing that commercial thing they do. And I know you heard Bobby say this earlier, but just tonight, the show is entirely dedicated to helping those who suffer from hunger and food shortages. It's such an important issue that we are all bringing awareness to, and it's such a beautiful thing that we're doing here at the Grand Ole Opry tonight. But before we get to more of that, I want to mention the Circle text group that's been going on. We've been talking about this a lot the last couple of weeks, and a lot of you have sent me some requests of, okay, wait a minute, I missed how you join. It's so easy. All you do is send in hashtag Opry Live to this phone number, 615-395-6903. It's right down there on your screen. Just hashtag Opry Live, and we will text you with all of the latest Opry Live updates. Myself might text you, Bobby Bones might text you. You never know. Now, let's talk about what tonight is all about. It is such an incredible show tonight. So, the Grand Ole Opry, Circle Network, and Gray Television have all partnered with Feeding America tonight to bring awareness and to help out those who are suffering from hunger shortages, food shortages. This is an issue that has been completely compounded by the pandemic, and then, of course, by the storms that just happened a couple of weeks ago. So many are still left without power in Texas. And so one of the ways that you can help, it's so easy if you go to feedingamerica.org/circle and donate whatever you can. And I mean this when I say whatever you can. If it's 35 cents, if it's $1, I know all of us have been stretched very thin because of the pandemic. Everybody's just trying to count pennies and figure out how to make life work and happen in such a strange time. But when you think about people that have no idea where their next meal is going to come from and how they're going to provide food for their children, 50 million people could face a food shortage in America due to the economic fallout from the pandemic. And actually 4 in 10 people visiting food banks had not received food assistance before the pandemic. So when you think about that, 50% of people who are asking for assistance right now had not ever needed assistance before the pandemic. So go to feedingamerica.org/circle, donate whatever you can. You're gonna be doing your part to help out your fellow man. Right now, I'm sending it to Bobby Bones.
Hey guys, welcome back to Opry Live Feeding America. I'm Bobby Bones. Now tonight we're helping those who suffer from hunger and food shortages. You know, there's a lot to worry about these days, and even though hunger shouldn't be one of them, it is. There are so many people out there right now who find themselves needing just a little bit of help in putting food on the table, and many of them are probably right in your own community, so let's do it. We're a team here. Let's help them any way that we can. For more info and to donate, go to feedingamerica.org/circle. It's right there, feedingamerica.org/circle. We really can make a difference. Okay, this next artist is making a difference with her songwriting. Her music reflects a wisdom that is beyond her years, and that makes her something special. This is Hailey Whitters.
It ain't the bartender, it ain't the bottle, it ain't the headache I'll have tomorrow. It's a high, low life, go and shake it all up, filling my cup. It's all my people sitting around a table, real sad country on the radio. My go-to blues and my old faithful, barely pushing 20 but still carrying me home. It's one part happy and one part chaos, whole lot of borrow, a little bit paid off. You can't appreciate the sugar if you never had the salt. That's right. Ain't it nice and sweet even when it's on the rocks? Yeah, it ain't the bartender, it ain't the bottle, it ain't the headache I'll have tomorrow. It's a high, low life when you shake it all up, filling my cup. It's all those so close you can taste it, hard pill to swallow, goodbye luck. Sometimes half empty is good for making room for the no when you see good stuff. It's one part happy and one part pain, knowing what you can and what you can't change, and learning that the secret is wanting what you got. Ain't it nice and sweet even when it's on the rocks? Yeah, it ain't the bartender, it ain't the bottle, it ain't the headache coming tomorrow. It's a high, low life, go and shake it all up, filling my cup. That's right. Y'all give it up for Eamon McLaughlin on the fiddle. All right, y'all, come on. It ain't the bartender, it ain't the bottle, it ain't the headache I'll have tomorrow. It's a high, low life, go and shake it on up, filling my cup. Yeah, it ain't the whiskey, it ain't the wine, though it sure goes good from time to time. With this high, low life, go and shake it on up. Yeah, that's the stuff that's filling my cup. Shake it on up, fill it up, woo! Thank you. Holy cow, it feels good to be back at the Opry. And on a night like tonight, when they've partnered with Feeding America to make sure nobody goes hungry, did you all know for $1 they can provide 10 meals? Isn't that amazing? So amazing. I put out an album yesterday. It's called Living the Dream, which I feel like I am living, getting to play the Opry tonight. Y'all go check it out. I got to collaborate with one of my heroes, Miss Trisha Yearwood, on this next song. She's got just enough red Revlon left in the tube. He's got a tenth of a tank, but it'll more than make do. They got just enough starlight, just enough beer, just enough country song to get them there from here. They might go all the way, they might run out a shaking preacher praying, mama saying, hey, how far can it go? Are you getting married? They got just enough sunsets left in the summer for zip codes changing to 5 different numbers. They got just enough history to hold it together, say they'll meet halfway at least 8 times a semester. Is it gonna work out? What the hell do they know? But as of last night, they still can't hang up the phone. How far can it go? How long will it last? She's got her eyes on forever's got his foot on the gas. Can't stop two hearts from falling down like dominoes. Town is guessing, people betting, daddy's sweating. Hey, how far can it go? Ooh, how far can it go? They could go down the aisle, they could go up in smoke, they could be laughing and smiling, telling some kids of their own. How far can it go? How long will it last? She's got her eyes on forever's got his foot on the gas. Two hearts get to rolling, you can't make them go slow. There's a shaking preacher praying, mama saying, hey, hearts are racing, love's for chasing. I'm just saying, how far can it go? Oh, we all wanna know, how far can it go? How far can it go?
Hailey Whitters, everybody. Isn't she amazing? And that deluxe version of her album just came out yesterday. She's got some incredible collaborations with 4 new tracks on there. She's got collaborations with Little Big Town, like she said, Miss Trisha Yearwood. Be sure and check that out. Now, before we go any further, here's a little reminder from our friends at Geico, who we love here at the Opry. When it comes to saving money on car insurance, Geico hits all the right notes. You could save hundreds on your car insurance and enjoy benefits like top-notch 24/7 service, fast, fair claim handling, coverage of your RV, your motorcycle, your boat, Chris Janson, and much more. And homeowners and renters insurance through Geico Insurance Agency. Just visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO or visit your local Geico office for a free rate quote today. Now, the Circle Release of the Week. This is this new segment that we've been doing where we've been highlighting music that we love and we think that you should know about. A lot of times it's new artists. This week, it's my girl, Miss Carly Pearce. She released an EP this last week called 29 that is just stunning. It's her best work yet, which is saying a lot because she keeps releasing great music. She got 3 ACM nominations this week, so wherever you listen to or stream music, go check out 29 by Miss Carly Pearce. Now, if you've just joined us, tonight is all dedicated to helping those who are suffering from hunger. Now, the Grand Ole Opry, Circle Network, Gray Television have all partnered together to help our fellow man with Feeding America. Feeding America is an incredible organization that has food pantries and ways to get food to those in need all across America. And you know, something that's really interesting to think about is how difficult it is to ask for help. But one of the easiest things in the world to do, y'all, is to give a little help. And I really mean it when I say whatever you can give. I know it's tough right now on everybody, but if you can give $1, they were just telling us $1 is 10 different meals. So if you go to feedingamerica.org/circle, go there, donate whatever you can. Every single little bit helps. I mean, you think about it, if you're hungry and it's been a couple days when you haven't had a meal and you don't know how you're going to find your next meal, there's no way you can think about school or going to work or transportation or getting to where you need to be. So go to feedingamerica.org/circle. Do your part. Let's help out our communities. Right now, I'm giving it to Bobby Bones.
Hey guys, welcome back to Opry Live, Feeding America. I'm Bobby Bones. I told you guys last week about Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's grandest fishing tournament in history. There is still time to sign up. all for amateurs, no pros allowed, and there's $4 million in cash and prizes up for grabs. Oh, and Chris Janson is kicking off the first event in Florida on March 13th. For more info and to register your team, go to basspro.com/US Open. Speaking of Bass Pro, they have a long history of helping our communities during disasters and crisis. As we speak, they're bringing much needed relief in Texas and other hard-hit areas. Partnering with Convoy of Hope, they have provided over 200 million meals since the start of the pandemic. So it's no surprise they're totally on board tonight with our Feeding America partnership to help those suffering from hunger and food shortages. When you support Feeding America, you help the nation's food banks deliver meals right to the front line of hunger, like school-based food pantries, emergency disaster relief, and Kids Cafe. For more info and to donate, go to feedingamerica.org/circle. It's right there. feedingamerica.org/circle. Let's get back to the music. This next guy has so many hit songs. He's got 5 greatest hit albums. Woo! No doubt he's got a special place in everyone's country music hearts. Here is Travis Tritt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bobby played his guitar on the harder side of town, where it's hard for a poor boy to find the morning. He had dedication, he had the heart and soul, and somehow knew he was born to play. People said, get a real job, support your family, 'cause there's no future on the road you're taking. But he never said a word. Well, the dreamer just kept on. Late at night you could hear him sing, and he sang, I'm gonna be somebody. All right. One of these days I'm gonna break these chains, and I'm gonna be somebody someday. You can bet your heart and dollar I'll be. The road was a struggle. It took him 10 years to the top. Now he's #1 on the stage and on the radio. Still he can't believe how people come from miles around, when it seemed like only yesterday that he would say, I'm gonna be somebody. One of these days I'm gonna break these chains, and I'm gonna be somebody someday. You can bet your heart dollar I will. Yeah, you know I will. He played his hometown one full moon summer night. He heard a voice down in the front row singing. It was a sandy rebel boy with the same old hungry eyes. And he looked up at Bobby and said, he said, I'm gonna be somebody. One of these days I'm gonna break these chains, and I'm gonna be somebody someday. You can bet your heart and dollar I will. You know I will, yeah. And I'm gonna be somebody just like all of you.
of these days, I'm gonna break these chains, and I'm gonna be somebody someday. You can bet your hard-earned dollar I will. Oh yeah, you can bet your hard-earned dollar I will. Yes, I will. Thank you so much. Man, it is so good to see people in the Opry again. You know what I'm saying? And for me personally, it is so good to be back at the Grand Ole Opry. I always have cherished this particular place, and I'm honored to be a Grand Ole Opry member. There's nobody that respects the tradition of the Opry more than I do. And I do have a brand new album coming out called Set in Stone in May 7th. But next weekend, March the 5th, I've got my new single coming out off that album. And it's a song that kind of talks about nostalgia. It's called Smoke in a Bar. Daddies were daddies, and mamas were saints. What preachers were preaching, you could take to the bank. Kids played outside up until it turned dark. When the world turned slower, and you could smoke in a bar. Trucks took a beating, the working man too. You could turn on the 6 o'clock and get the whole truth. A seatbelt was a backup for mama's right arm. When the world turned slower and you could smoke in a bar. How times have changed. But man, sometimes I miss them old days. And they say we've come a long way, but I say it's a little bit too far. From when the world turned slower and you could smoke in a bar. Neighbors came by and talked on the porch. We all said good night and never locked the front door. Even downtown you could still see the stars when the world turned slower and you could smoke in a bar. How times have changed. Man, sometimes I miss them old days. And they say we've come a long way, but I say it's a little bit too far. From when the world turned slower and you could smoke in a bar. A deal was a deal when you shook a man's hand. When we saw the flag flying, we all gave a damn. My, how times have changed. But man, sometimes I miss them old days. And they say we've come a long way, but I say it's a little bit too far. Yeah. From when the world turned slower and you could smoke in a bar. From when the world turned slower and you could smoke in a bar.
Opry member since 1992, Mr. Travis Tritt, y'all. He's getting people on their feet in the middle of the song, not just at the end of it. Whew, my goodness. Now, our partners at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, you guys have heard us talk about this a little bit over the last few weeks. Bobby and myself have been reminding you, but I love this fishing tournament that they have going on. First of all, greatest name ever. It's called the grandest fishing tournament in history, and it's for folks like your girl Stovall here, who are amateurs. None of the pros are allowed, but you are competing to win in over $4 million in cash and prizes. But that's not even the best part. The best part is 100% of the entry fees for this contest and tournament go towards fish habitat conservation. Try to say that 5 times fast. Fish habitat conservation. So just like Bass Pro Shops, encouraging us to get outside, outdoors, win a little money, and taking care of the environment. Isn't that amazing? Now, speaking of, Bass Pro Shops also has a history of helping out local communities that are in need. So, of course, they are very supportive of tonight's efforts that we have going on here at the Opry House in this very, very special show that all of you around the world have tuned into. Now, as we speak, they are helping to bring relief to Texas and other hard-hit areas from all of these storms that have been going on. You guys, it's been a doozy these last couple of weeks here in the States, and I know a lot of you are watching from around the world, but I mean, the way that it's hit again on top of the pandemic, I mean, the work that Feeding America is doing to help those in need and suffering from hunger and food shortages is amazing. And I want you guys to know a little bit more about Feeding America so you know what you're donating to when you go to feedingamerica.org/circle. Now, they are the nation's largest hunger relief organization. They've got 200 food banks and 60,000 food pantries and meal programs. So Feeding America they provide food. I can't even believe this. They provide food to every single county across all 50 United States. So when you go to feedingamerica.org/circle, you are donating to your own community. You might be helping to provide a meal for your next door neighbor that you didn't even realize was in need. So go to feedingamerica.org/circle, do your part. Let's help out our friends and neighbors. And right now, I'm throwing it back to my friend, Bobby Bones.
Welcome back to Opry Live, Feeding America. I'm Bobby Bones. Tonight's all about helping your neighbors who suffer from food and hunger shortages. Hunger is a complex issue. When people face hunger, they often struggle to meet other basic needs as well, such as housing, employment, and health care. So that's why it's so important for us to help right now. We do it for each other, wouldn't we? Absolutely. Let's do this. Let's help our neighbors in our communities and all across our nation. You can help. To donate, go to feedingamerica.org/circle. Together we can make a difference. I know we can. feedingamerica.org/circle. Back to the stage for a guy whose music comes at you like a pistol. Once again, Travis Tritt.
As we sat on the front porch of that old gray house where I was born and raised, staring at the dust fields where my daddy worked hard every day. And I think it kinda hurt him when I said, Daddy, there's a lot that I don't know. But don't you ever dream about a life where corn don't grow. He just sat there silent, staring at his favorite coffee cup. Saw his storm mixed emotion in his eyes when he looked up. Said, son, I know at your age, seems like this whole world is turning slow. And you think you'll find the answer to it all where corn don't grow. Hard times are real, and there's just fields no matter where you go. Son, you may change your mind, boys, we's high where corn don't grow. Mm-hmm. Whoa, whoa, ooh, whoa, whoa, I remember feeling guilty when Daddy turned and walked back in the house. 'Cause I was only 17 back then, but thought that I knew more than I know now. And I can't say he didn't warn me, city life's a hard road home. Lord, ain't it funny how trees can turn around where corn don't grow. And hard times are real, there's dusty fields no matter where you go. Son, you better change your mind, boys, we's high where corn don't grow. Yes, you may change your mind, boy, those weeds are high where corn don't grow. Thank you so much. I'm extremely honored to be at the Opry anytime I get a chance, but I'm especially honored to be here tonight because tonight we are partnering with a group called Feeding America that is so important, especially right now with all of the layoffs that we've had in the past year, and there's so much insecurity about feeding our population. With all of the things that have taken place in the last few months, not only with the pandemic, but also with weather situations, especially in places like Texas, we have the possibility of as many as 50 million people that will go hungry. 17 million of those are children. And in a country as prosperous as ours, there's absolutely no excuse for that. But the good thing is that we have groups like Feeding Americans that will come out, and they're nonprofit, and for every dollar that is donated to this organization, they provide 10 meals for every dollar. Think about that. The money goes a long, long way. So if you can support them in any way possible, you'll be doing a whole lot of people a whole lot of good. And I'm proud to be associated with such a great cause like that. Well, I got rice cooking in the microwave. Got a 3D bed I don't plan to share. And it's a goofy thing, but I just got to see I'm doing alright. Yeah, I think I'll make some homemade soup. I'm feeling pretty good, that's the truth. It's neither drink nor drug induced. No, I'm just doing alright. And it's a great day to be alive. The sun's still shining when I close my eyes. There's hard times in the neighborhood. Why can't every day be just this good? Yeah. 15 years since I left home. I said good luck to every seed I had sown. Gave it my best, left it alone. Lord, oh, they're doing alright. Yeah, I think I'll make some homemade soup. I'm feeling pretty good, that's the truth. It's neither drink nor drug induced. No, I'm just doing alright. And it's a great day to be alive. And the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. It's hard times in the neighborhood. Why can every day be just this good? Sometimes it's lonely, and sometimes it's only me and the shadows that fill this room. Sometimes I'm falling, desperately calling, howling at the moon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I might go get me a new tattoo, or take my old heart for a 3-day cruise. I might even grow me a Fu Manchu. Yeah, yeah, and it's a great day to be alive. The sun's still shining when I close my eyes. It's hard times in the neighborhood. Why can't every day be just this good? It's a great day to be alive. I know the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. It's hard times in the neighborhood. Why can't every day be just this good? Yeah. God bless y'all. Thank you so much.
Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and auto insurance. Go to geico.com today.
Travis Tritt, the Grand Ole Opry, Gray Television, Circle All Access here. Everybody doing their part tonight here at the Grand Ole Opry to make sure that it is truly a great day to be alive for everybody. And tonight, right after the show, we're going to have another Geico Green Room for you with Travis Tritt. Y'all, I'm so excited that I get to sit down and talk with the legend Travis Tritt right after the show. So as soon as the show's over, you know what to do. Go to GeicoGreenroom.com. We're going to be heading back as soon as he's done. We're going to head back to Studio A back there and backstage in the Grand Ole Opry and get to chat. And while you're on GeicoGreenroom.com, you can make yourself a Geico Green Room poster. So all you got to do, once you get on the website, click on Start Your Print, and you can make yourself your own little rock star poster. Look at Samantha Owens right here. And that Travis Tritt signature up there. I mean, come on. If you make yourselves one of these, you might have one of these Opry stars sign it and send it to you. So make yourself a Geico Green Room poster and hang out and watch Mr. Travis Tritt and myself doing a little chatting after the show. This is such an important night. We are doing our parts to feed and help our fellow man. There are just way too many people that are suffering right now. And when you think about the people that are starving and hungry and they don't have enough food, if there's something that any of us could do, if we knew someone that was going through that personally, of course we would do whatever we could do to help. But it's really hard to ask for help, and a lot of people don't want to. But one of the things that we can do is give help. That's something that we can all do. So if you go to feedingamerica.org/circle, donate whatever you can. You've heard so many of us say this, $1 provides 10 meals. So don't be embarrassed. It doesn't matter how much you have to give. If you have anything, please, please give it. If you think about what it means when you're hungry and how difficult of a situation that is for someone if they had to choose between food and keeping the power on. That's something that's going on in Texas right now. Food and transportation, food and medical care, food and a roof over your head. I mean, it's something that no one should have to go through. And like Travis Tritt just said, especially in this country where we have so much good and so many people are prospering, we need to do whatever we can to come together, unite, and help our fellow man. Go to feedingamerica.org/circle. Donate whatever you can. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Good night. I'm sending it to Bobby Bones.
Hey guys, welcome back to Opry Live. Tonight we've been trying to provide some relief to those who suffer from hunger and food shortages. And when you think about it, it can happen to any of us really. If it's a job loss, an accident, the pandemic, or the devastating weather we just had, any of us could find ourselves needing a little help putting food on the table. To donate, go to feedingamerica.org/circle. 98% of all Feeding America donations go directly to serving our neighbors in the U.S. So let's be part of the solution and help keep our neighbors safe. Also, you want more of this entertainment? You love the Opry? Check out GeicoGreenroom.com. You will see an interview with Travis Tritt. GeicoGreenroom.com. Go check it out. Okay, here, once again, it's Chris Janson. Good night, and thank you so much for helping to feed America.
Well, I thank you very much. I am Chris. This is Travis, as you well know. How about another round of applause for Travis Tritt here, huh? What a epitome of a star. And I sent Travis a message this week and said, hey, don't you think we ought to sing a little bit together for the first time ever? And we do it on the Grand Ole Opry stage, and we're going to honor one of our late great heroes, Waylon Jennings, tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go.
Fiddle and guitar. Where do we take it from here? Rhinestone suits and new shiny cars. It's been the same way for years. Yeah. We need a change. Yes, sir.
Well, somebody told me when I came to Nashville, son, you finally got it made. Yo, I'm sure that you don't think Hank done it this way. Oh, don't think Hank done it this way. Come on. In this world of 5-piece band, staring at the backside of me, yeah, playing my songs when it is now and then. But I don't think Hank done them this way. You don't Hank really do it this way.
I spent 10 years on the road making one-night stands, stealing my young life away. Won't you tell me one more time just so I'll understand? Are you sure Hank done it this way? No, did old Hank
Oh, yeah.
Chris Janson, y'all.
That's what the Grand Ole Opry is about right there, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta admit that was pretty sweet. One more time for my buddy Travis there. Ladies and gentlemen, this next song is a #1 song. It was my most recent #1 song that I wrote about my smoking hot wife, and boy, is she smoking hot. This next song is called Done. Here we go. Done. The first time I saw you, done. By the first dance was through, I was done. That one kiss, I knew there was nothing I wouldn't do just to give you that house on a hill with the full plank around it. Every last breath till the last star is counted. Just say the word, paint me you're perfect. I won't quit till the good Lord says my work is done. Like a faded out song on the radio. Done. Like the cowboy gets the girl when the credits roll. I give you a lifetime of days in the sun. Whatever you need and you want, I won't stop till it's done. Done. All the hell I was raising, done. All the careless heartbreaking, done. For the chance that you're taking, I spend my nights praying and all my days chasing that house on a hill with a full plank around it. Every last breath till the last star is counted. Just say the word, girl, paint me you're perfect. I won't quit till the good Lord says my work is done. Like a faded out song on the radio. Done. Like the cowboy gets a girl when the credits roll. I give you a lifetime of days in the sun. Whatever you need and you want, I won't stop till it's done. You know I won't stop till it's done. You need a man you can lean on, done. You need some faith you can hang your dreams on. Check them off one by one. In that house on a hill with a full plank around it. Every last breath till the last star is counted. Just say the word, girl, make me your perfect. I won't quit till the good Lord says my work is done. Like a faded out song on the radio. Done. Like the cowboy kiss a girl when the credits roll. I give you a lifetime of days in the sun. Whatever you need and you want, I won't stop till it's done. Baby, I won't stop till it's done. Oh, you know I ain't done. First time I saw you, done. Oh, thank you very much. Boy, you're a fine-looking audience, and it sure is a pleasure to play for you. Thank you very much. Now, you know when I do this, it gets serious. And out of tune. Somebody give me a D chord and let's just do this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, your host of the evening tonight, across the country and around the world, is my friend Bobby Bones. And if it weren't for Bobby playing this song on his radio show, it may not have ever happened ever. I wrote this song about, I was kind of in a bad mood. I looked outside, I said, well, that's a pretty cool truck and a pretty good looking Yeti cooler sitting in the back, and you're welcome. I'm kidding. But I took this song and I recorded it and I took it home and I play everything for my wife, every single thing. I took this home, she said, that's a hit. I didn't have a record deal at the time, and we were shopping it around a little bit and playing it around a little bit, and I was playing it live, and we had our little thing going, and then boom, poof. That very morning, Bobby played it on his show, and it blew up, and it shot straight to #1, and it's been ever since then history, and member of the Grand Ole Opry and all sorts of things, and I count my blessings every day, And I tell you what, being here tonight on behalf of Feeding America, that's counting your blessings too. A lot of people out there hurting. If you get a chance to lend somebody a helping hand, I'm telling you, it comes back tenfold to you. You ought to do it one time. So thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being so awesome, and so courteous, and so nice. And here's one called Buy Me a Boat. Hope you like it. Well, I ain't rich, but I damn sure wanna be. Yeah, working like a dog all day ain't working for me. Well, I wish I had a rich uncle that would kick the bucket and I was sitting on a pile like a Warren Buffett. I know everybody says money can't buy happiness, but it can buy me a boat. It can buy me a truck to pull. It can buy me a Yeti 110 ice down with silver bullets. Yeah, now I know what they say. Money can't buy everything, maybe so, but it can buy me a boat. Oh, sing it loud. Now they call me redneck, white trash, and blue collar. Well, now I could change all that if I had a couple $1 million. Hey, yeah, I keep hearing that money is the root of all evil, and you can't fit a camel through the eye of a needle. I'm sure that's probably true, but it still sounds pretty cool, 'cause it can buy me a boat. Oh yeah, it can buy me a truck to pull, but it can buy me a Yeti 110 ice down with silver. So, well, you can buy me a boat to float down on the water with a beer. I hear the Powerball lotto is sitting on 100 mil. Yeah, that'll buy me a brand new riding reel. Or it can buy me a boat. Ooh, it can buy me a truck to pull. Now it can buy me a Yeti 110 ice down with silver bullets. Let's break it down here, boy. But buy me a boat. Are you ready to get crazy at the Grand Ole Opry one time? I said, are you ready to get crazy at the Grand Ole Opry one time? Woo. Watch this. That's how we do it at the Grand Ole Opry. Thank you. I love you. I'm Chris Janson. Good night.
Grand Ole Opry star Chris Janson, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Janson, everybody. Thank you, man. This is the Grand Ole Opry, presented by Grand Ole Legend, 650 AM, WSM, WSMonline.com, the WSM and Opry apps, and Sirius XM satellite radio. Next week, be with us with Willie Jones, Waylon Payne.
Welcome to the Geico Green Room. I'm your host, Natalie Stovall, and once again, we are backstage in the Opry House in the iconic Studio A. And tonight, y'all, I am pinching myself. I cannot believe that I get to sit here and chat with this legend. This man right here, one of the best-selling artists in the 90s, piles of platinum albums, 4 CMAs, 2 Grammys, big long list of acting credits, because why not just throw that on in there? And he's one of those entertainers that the moment that he walks out on stage, he grabs both the music and the audience by both hands and does not let go, and that is my kind of entertainer. The one, the only, Travis Tritt, y'all.
Wow. I hope I can live up to that introduction. That's pretty good.
You have paved the way for that introduction.
Well, thank you.
I mean, don't you feel like the spirits of the Hee Haw cornfield are hanging out with us right now?
I remember coming in the studio and doing Hee Haw way back when. And my gosh, just had such a good time.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, you are heavily influenced by bluegrass music, and especially from your childhood, from what I understand.
Exactly.
So, in what ways has that aspect of your background affected your music and songwriting today?
My uncle, when I was in my early teens, like 12, 13 years old, took me around to bluegrass festivals all over, everywhere. We went as far north as Virginia and as all around the Southeast. And I just fell in love with it because I was learning how to play at the time. And the cool thing was going to bluegrass festivals for me, not only going to the stage and seeing all the great performers there perform, but we would go back to our campsite, and a lot of times the acts that were performing on stage would just walk around. The musicians would walk around from campsite to campsite where people were sitting around picking. And so I had an opportunity to meet some of my heroes that way. But I just loved it. I fell in love with it. And to this day, that is one of the strongest elements of all the different influences that I had growing up. I mean, growing up listening to core country, traditional country, that's always been my center. And then there was blues, and then there was Southern rock, and then there was bluegrass.
Wow.
And take a little bit of Southern gospel and sprinkle over the top of all of that, and that pretty much sums me up. So, yeah. And as a matter of fact, I had a chance to write probably the most bluegrassy song I've ever written for this upcoming album.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
A song called Better Off Dead that I wrote with Adam Hood.
Wow.
I'm very excited about it.
That's so exciting. Well, yeah, because you have this album that's coming out May 7th, right?
That's right.
And you co-wrote 8 of the 11 songs.
That's correct.
And you're working with Dave Cobb, which, I mean, I can't really think of a better combination than the two of you working together. So are there any more details you can give us about this album?
You know, the album is called Set in Stone, and I have to tell you, I hadn't been in the studio in about 13 years to record a studio album. Yeah. I made a conscious decision about 13 years ago to really kind of focus on just going out and being on tour. And when the idea came to me of possibly working with Dave Cobb, he and I started talking, and he put me at ease right off the bat. One of the reasons I was a little bit fearful of going back in the studio after being out that long was because I know things have changed a lot. The way people make music in the studio has changed for a lot of people. But Dave put me at ease very quickly because he said, look, here's the way I do it. I take a live band into the studio. Everybody's playing at the same time. I want to cut as many of your vocals while we're tracking as possible. So not only will you be playing, but you'll be singing your live vocals as well. And that's the way that I've always done it. So for me, it was like going back in time to the way that I've always recorded.
Really?
And that made me feel very, very relaxed.
So you've recorded your vocals live like that in the past?
Yeah.
Wow.
I try to do that
so
as much as
uncommon now.
It is. But that's the way we did it back in the 90s. You
Yeah.
know, and the early 2000s. I mean, everybody did it that way. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so if this is your first full-length album in over a decade, that's just mind-blowing. When you try to decipher the differences in your styles and the music from then and now, what do you notice about that? Or are there any differences?
I don't think it's changed at all.
Really?
You know, people started asking me before, when they found out that I was going back in the studio again, they said, well, what's it going to be like? Is it going to be are you going to go more traditional country, or are you going to go more of your Southern rock, or are you going to do blues, or are you going to do more bluegrass? What are you going to do? And I said, you know, the only way I know how to answer that is just tell you, it's going to be a Travis Tritt album. And I'm going to continue to do everything that I've always done, which is put a little bit of all of those different influences into this record.
Yeah.
And try to write songs and perform songs that hopefully people can relate to, that tell stories that they can relate to in their own personal lives.
Yeah.
And, you know, that recipe's worked pretty well for me over the years. So
I would say so.
I don't think I want to change it.
Yeah, I don't think you should. And we got just a little preview tonight on the Opry stage with Smoke in a Bar, which was so exciting.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, that song really harkens to, you know, a more humble time.
Yes.
And when life wasn't quite so fast-paced and
Absolutely.
not overlooking the simple things. So why was that a message for you that was on your heart to share with your fans?
Well, you know, over the last 15 years or so, I've had a lot of people that they'll either come up to me if I'm doing a show, or a lot of people will get in touch with me via social media, and they'll basically say, you know, we like a lot of the new stuff, but man, we really long for a time when we miss those great stories that country music has always told throughout its history. And we don't hear as much of that as we'd like to. Wouldn't it be great if we went back to a time where more of those stories were told? And then in the past year or so, especially, with all the craziness in the world, all these different things that have gone on, I'm talking to a lot of people that say, you know, man, as crazy as things have gotten, wouldn't it be better if we could go back to a time when things were just moved a little bit slower, and the world didn't move so fast, and there wasn't so much craziness. So I think that's what this song talks about. It talks about being nostalgic. And I think there's a lot of people out there, including me, that are nostalgic for some of those things that took place not too long ago.
Well, and you're the guy I want to hear that kind of song from.
Well, thank you very much.
And you are a father of 3.
Yeah.
And no surprise, I've heard that 2 of the 3 of your kids are heavily interested in music. So, okay, shocker, right? So your kids have obviously been influenced by your music, but I'm curious in what ways having a family has influenced your career.
Well, you know, having a family gives me a center, and it gives me a calm place to come back to that, you know, when you're out on tour and you're doing 130 shows a year or whatever in a normal year, it's very helpful for me anyway to be able to just go home and reconnect and relax and not have to worry about being anything other than a husband and a dad. And they've always, I have to give credit to my wife, and I give credit to my children too, because they've always made that very easy for me.
Wow.
And from the time that they were little kids, they would go out on tour with me until they started in regular school. And they were just, you know, it was just great just having my family around me.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't, once the show was over, I really didn't miss them. I wasn't far away from them. They were close by.
Right.
And we've managed to hold on to that tight-knit family unit throughout all these years. And I have to give my wife all the credit for that, because she really instilled in our children how important it is to remember that there's nothing more important than your family.
Yeah. Wow, that is really beautiful. Well, we are backstage at the Opry, and you have been an Opry member since 1992.
That's correct.
So, the stories I bet he could tell us. But what is one of your most memorable memories from all of these years of performing here at the Opry?
There have been so many. I would say the two that probably stand out the most to me were Porter Wagoner called me years ago and asked me if I would be part of a guitar pool with, we did actually a couple of them, but there was one in particular with Steve Wariner, Joe Diffie, Waylon Jennings, and me. And just being on stage, I sat right next to Waylon, and everybody just, you know, I mean, this is some of the biggest stars in the business.
Yeah.
And that had some of the greatest songs. But to be next to Waylon and to have had a relationship with him so many years prior to that, and us just getting to share the stage and just playing acoustic guitars and playing each other's songs, and it was just a great time. And then the other one that stands out also involves Waylon to a certain extent. The night after Waylon's funeral, Marty Stewart, Hank Williams Jr., and I appeared on the Grand Ole Opry to do a tribute to Waylon. And it was just the three of us and acoustic guitars. We had been to the funeral the day before, and it was actually on the plane coming back from his funeral. And I think Marty was already scheduled to be on the Opry, and Hank and I started talking, and we said, you know, wouldn't it be great if we were able to, all three of us together, go out and pay tribute to Waylon, because he meant so much to all three of us, and we all knew him so well. Wow. So we had a chance to do that, and that stands out as being one of the most memorable Opry performances for me that I think I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great night.
I would love to have seen that one.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Mr. Travis Tritt, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here.
Thank you.
A legend, y'all. And thank you once again for joining us in the Geico Green Room. I'm Natalie Stovall, and we'll see you next time.